What's up? My name is Matthew Neubek, and I'm going to be your instructor for Calculus 1 this semester. I'm using a lot of new software, and I'm going to immediately beg your patience and your constructive criticism as we're going along through the semester so that you can help me make this experience as good for you as possible. I've got some decent quality audio with my Yeti here. I'm recording into OBS instead of using the big blue button, which will hopefully give you some better quality video. And I was just wrestling with a second display. That did not go so well. So we're going to see what we can do just operating here on one screen on my laptop. And let's start a little tour. So what the purpose of this video is going to be what you would normally see on the first day of class, which is going to be a quick run through the syllabus. And I want to look at the calendar with you so that you know what to expect and where to look and get a better feel for the pacing of the course. And then we'll jump into the software that you're going to be using, where you can and will complete your homework assignments, your chapter tests, and where you can access some additional videos. I've gone looking through those videos today. Some better than others. So I'm going to make some videos that are going to vary in format. Sometimes I'm just going to blow through them, especially at the beginning of the semester here, because the first two sections actually are very much review. If you've made it this far, you're in Calc 1, everything that I'll talk about in there is going to be fast. I think I might actually just cruise through your first homework assignment and just talk concepts with you and remind you of some of the processes. And then you can go back and watch this video that I'm going to go through too quickly, but you can pause and catch those little reminders and then toggle over to the homework assignment and knock out your homework that way. In the future, what I'll do is I'm going to create some I'll take the PowerPoint slides that the author has provided and that another author has provided. I'm going to turn them into PDFs. I'm going to scroll through those. I'm going to hand write some solution processes on some problems. I will probably also toggle over into your actual homework assignments at the end of some of those videos and talk through some strategies for particularly challenging homework problems, just to make sure that you can get started going in the right direction on those. And then my goal is a couple of times a week on 2 different days of the week, hopefully at different times of day, to do some or host some online office hours where y'all can join me and we can do some screen sharing, or you can maybe email me or Canvas message me some screenshots of some particular problems or some solution processes that you've already attempted, and you can ask me, why is this not going in the way that I thought that it would maybe? So we're going to play that by ear, and like I said, just keep giving me feedback, and we're going to make the most out of this unusual situation. All right, so let's go into Canvas and have a look at the syllabus first and foremost. Also, I'm in a home office here at my house, so someone might knock on the door. You might be able to hear the cat meowing on the other side of the door right now. As a matter of fact, but she's just recently had a haircut. Will you say hello? She's got some little boots, and we just gave her the lion cut, so she's got the fluffy tail still. Want to do some math? No. Okay. She thought she wanted to come in. She was wrong. Okay, so here we are in Canvas. So I've actually, let's see, so I've got my cursor here, which you should be able to see in the recording. I tried to set it up that way. Hopefully that'll work. I'm actually displaying this and casting it sort of into OBS from my iPad. And if the cursor is indeed showing up, you're seeing that we've clicked on syllabus, and then I put this little note in here that says to go to files. So I can't click on files there. I'm going to come down here. In files, what I've done is, the format of this stinks, obviously. What happens if I click on this? Doesn't really give us any better of a display. So here's our calendar. Here's the syllabus. I think the calendar is actually at the bottom of the syllabus. So let's check out the syllabus first. If it loads, is it thinking about it? There we go. All right, so here we are in Calc 1, Fall 2020. This is when our course would normally meet if we were doing in-person or synchronous, but we're going to go totally asynchronous on the lectures. I'm not looking at what I'm doing down here. There we go. So you have access to this. I just sort of wanted to touch on the highlights. How to be successful. Just trying to get this thing dialed in so it's fairly easy for you to read. Okay. What is calculus? You can check that out on your own. How to be successful. You should read that. Tutoring, if you're new to FGCU, you've got a couple of different tutoring opportunities. One of them is definitely the Center for Academic Achievement, which is sort of right in the middle of your screen if my cursor is indeed recording. So you're seeing that there. You can check out the CAA, call them, email them, schedule tutoring via the website. And then usually the math department also hosts on-campus tutoring sessions. I don't know if we're doing that this semester or not. Information's kind of trickling out and I'm trying to keep up. But we can talk more about that once we get into the body of the course. Here are some objectives for you. Under website, it says that we're using WebAssign. I have sent out an email already with registration instructions for WebAssign. If you did not get that because maybe you joined the course late, shoot me an email at mneubek@fgcu.edu. Or you can Canvas message me. I will get back to you. Either way, I prefer Canvas messaging though because I get a lot of junk email. You'd be surprised maybe to my faculty email address. The text that we're using, Calculus Early Transcendentals 7th edition, I think I've actually got the PowerPoint slides that I'm going to use still from James Stewart, but from the 8th edition. So keep an eye on that and make sure that the content of those is matching up with what's going on in the homework assignments. Calculators. I have a TI 84 maybe. My guess is that a lot of you do also from a stats class. I may occasionally grab my calculator just to illustrate something for you, but I'm going to try to not lean on it too heavily. Although some things are just so much more easily solved using a graphing utility. We might even jump into like Desmos or some other kind of a solver and see what's to be seen there, but we'll get to that. I think I'm also going to come into these letter grades, so this is the grading system. I'm going to drop your 3 lowest homework scores. We're going to take some chapter tests that are worth 50% of your score for the course. I think I'm going to drop one of those also. And your final exam's worth 20%. I'm going to come in here and add an A- into this first category and a B+ into this second category, just to incentivize you to push a little harder and get to the top end of either one of those letter grades. Because I'm dropping some of your homework scores, I'm not going to be allowing you to do makeups on homework assignments. I won't be extending due dates. If you do for some reason have, like, I'm going to drop 3 of your lowest homework scores. If for some reason you end up missing for a very reasonable and documented reason, if you miss 4 homework assignments because you're in a coma or something, I don't know. And I've been in a coma, so that's not meant to be funny. But seriously, if you're actually incapacitated, I will work with you beyond those 3 zeros that I'm going to drop anyway, so you would be able to make up that 4th homework assignment, or if there are additional ones above and beyond the 4th one. Chapter tests. The lowest of the semester exams will be dropped, this says. Why is it highlighting? Thank you. Says right here. So it looks like I'm going to drop one of your lowest chapter tests. If for some reason, for a documented reason, you miss a chapter test, it's going to go in the books as a 0, and I'm going to drop it as your low chapter test score at the end of the semester. If you miss 2 chapter tests for documented, reasonable reasons, I will allow you to make one of those up. Hopefully that will not happen. And then we're into university policies. Financial aid, academic behavior, don't cheat, and don't discriminate. And if you're disabled in any way, I will accommodate you. I should have a letter from the Office of Adaptive Services testifying to your disability and what kind of an accommodation you receive. So don't just think that you can send me a note from your mom. You have to actually be registered with the Office of Adaptive Services. If there are any religious holidays that are going to cause you especially to miss a test or the final exam, let me know as far in advance as possible so that we can reschedule that. Most of your homework assignments are going to be open for like 8 days, so you should always have plenty of time to complete homework assignments. And you don't have to worry about a mask, which is nice. We can have office hours without wearing masks. I love that. Some important university dates. We're always encouraged to put these in here. You've probably seen these before. The last day of class is a Saturday. That's always interesting to me. I've never taught a Saturday class in 10 years. Maybe you've taken a Saturday class. And currently, during final exam week, I do have you scheduled to take your final exam online at a specified time during final exam week. As a matter of fact, let me just race to the bottom of our tentative schedule here and address that as long as we're talking about it. Your class is the second from the bottom, MAC 2311. Our designated class time is from 11:30 to 1:15. We're not going to ever meet synchronously during that time period. We're going to do everything with recorded lectures. But your final exam day is scheduled for Thursday, December 10th from 10 a.m. until 12:15 p.m. Excuse me. That's when I want you to take your final exam. So into your phone, into your paper calendar, into your work website, whatever it is, please schedule yourself to be available during those hours on that date. If somebody's getting married and you're going to be traveling, get me some kind of documentation. Okay? It's always tough when somebody dies for me to ask you for documentation. I'm going to miss my final exam. My grandmother died. I don't ever want to be insensitive, but if you're asking me to make some kind of an accommodation for you, I would like you to make a best effort to sort of verify whatever the reason is that you're going to be missing. All right, enough of that strange, morbid topic. Let's go back up to the top of our calendar. So the way I have this set up is Tuesday, August 18th is supposed to be our first day of class together. So what I'm going to do is drop our first 2 section videos, which I'm going to record using a similar format to what we're using right now. Instead of the calendar, you're going to see a PDF or a PowerPoint presentation, or I'll just switch my iPad over into notes mode and I'll handwrite some stuff, or I'll handwrite over the top of a PDF that has pre-printed questions on it. I will do my best to provide you blank copies of whatever it is that I'm going to be writing over the top of, but you may just have to go old school and write down the questions and then write down the solution processes and take notes as you normally would. So those first 2 sections are going to become available tomorrow. Hopefully I'm going to actually post them tonight. And my plan currently is to record them using OBS and then upload them to YouTube and then post links for you in Canvas, I would imagine, unless I post them in WebAssign. But however it is that I get them to you, I will get you links to those videos. I'm going to try to stay on task and keep up with this video schedule, but I'm also recording videos for 3 separate other courses this semester. So I'm going to be a video making machine. So if for some reason I'm going to fall behind, I will always let you know. But the homework assignments, at least for those first 2 sections, is due by midnight August 26th. The next 2 sections, just like we were going to have a classroom meeting on Thursday of our first week of classes, those videos will become available then. and your homework assignment is due on the 26th. When we go into WebAssign, we should be able to see all of those due dates. You'll notice that August 26th at midnight is the day before your August 27th test. I don't have that online test created just yet, but my guess is that what I'm going to do is make it available on the 27th, maybe, and the 28th, something like that, for a designated amount of time. So when you log in and you start working on the test, a timer will start and you'll only have an hour and 15 minutes, unless you're registered with Adaptive Services for additional time. You'll have an hour and 15 minutes to work on it, or probably an hour and 45 minutes. It shouldn't take you that long, ever. But it'll be timed, and then as long as you started it within the couple of days, which I allot for you, just knock it out between Thursday and Friday, and then you'll be all set. And then we'll roll into September and we'll start Chapter 2. Those homework assignments have a little bit less time than the Chapter 1 material. So you're seeing that what opens on September 1st is due on the 7th. September 3rd is also due on the 7th. So you've got 4 days there. Sometimes I do this and kind of stagger the due dates because of drop ad week and students are still getting online and so on. But if you have any questions about this schedule, let me know. You'll notice that the last assignments for Chapter 2 are due by the 21st, and your test will be online on the 22nd and 23rd is my guess. Anything else we need to look at in here? There is one day this semester, which is unusual. September 8th at the top of the screen here was listed by the university as a study day. I think the day before that maybe also is a study day. I think they did that in order to balance out the number of days available for classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays and so on. So just be aware that you do still have homework assignment due for Chapter 2 on September 7th, which would be Monday by midnight of that following week, even though we don't have class or any new videos dropping on September 8th. And then we'll pick it up again on September 10. All right, I'm bored with this already. I'm tired of the sound of my own voice already. Let's just go to the end of the semester here briefly. November 17th, Chapter 5 review, and then on the 19th. So that review day, I front-loaded the course a little bit, so we've got a little bit of extra time here at the end of the semester to do some additional online office hours, and so you can ask questions about that Chapter 5 test, but my guess is that you'll already have started preparing for the final. You'll take that Chapter 5 test, and then over the course of the next week, I've put in final exam review on November 24th, which is the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Maybe nobody will show up to those office hours. If nobody does, y'all can decide we won't even meet, and then we'll just attack again once we come back from Thanksgiving break. We'll do some online office hours and get ramped up for the final exam. All right, I have fallen asleep. I don't know about you. Terrible. First day of class stinks because we got to do all this housekeeping stuff. Thankfully, hopefully, like me, you're at home in your pajamas also, and you're comfortable. Let's see, we don't need that anymore. Let's go over to WebAssign. So here I've already logged in. My email address, in case you missed it, is up here at the top of the screen, mneubek@fgcu.edu. So I've logged into WebAssign, I've clicked into our course, and what you're going to see here, and I will get this down, I keep saying, I hope it's recording my cursor. Once I rewatch this video, I'll find out if I have the settings correct or not. But in the middle of your screen, you're seeing a lockdown browser test. I don't know if I can successfully do that on the iPad, but you do want to click on the lockdown browser test. And as I said in my email, it's going to prompt you, if you haven't done so already, to download a a lockdown browser that's specific for WebAssign, right? Because that's the idea of the lockdown browser, is it's not going to allow you to access any other websites. So that lockdown browser is specific to this particular software. And once it's installed, there may be some confusion. I know there was at the end of last semester as to what you're supposed to do next. As far as I recall, what you'll need to do next is, once you've done the installation process, is you're going to come back to this same screen that you're looking at right now, and you'll click Lockdown Browser Test again. And it should allow you to open this test, which has one question in it. There is a math question in this particular test, and I want you to answer that question correctly, please. Let's see. Other than that, what will happen starting on Tuesday is another couple of homework assignments are going to pop up here below where it says Lockdown Browser Test, and you'll be able to click into those. You don't need the lockdown browser for those. But I want to get that out of the way, making sure that the lockdown browser is working for you and that you're able to complete that test. So your homework assignments will appear there. Their due date will appear over here. And let's actually jump in and see what the format of one of those. Nope, we're not even going to do that. When you watch the next video, I'm going to go in and have a look at one of the homework assignments and make sure that we're comfortable interfacing with that, and we'll do a little review and we'll just kind of speed our way through there. What I will tell you about as far as the generalized tour of WebAssign, if you haven't used it before, is under resources right here. This is going to be that'll be a valuable tab for you. On the left hand side where it says ebook, you're going to want to use that. And I've never used it as a student, so I suppose score view, open student view. Why don't I click on this? Let's see what it looks like for you. And that turns out to be a bad idea because I'm not going to log in as a student. That's so strange. Why would it do that? You're going to have a spot over here on the left hand side that allows you to see your grades and stuff like that. Or maybe you'll access them from a drop down up here. But under resources, what's the deal? Oh, let's try this. I gotta use my face to log in. Try again. See how smoothly this is going on the first day of classes? All right, I'm in. Let's see if student view works this time. Ah, yes, there it is. All right, so this is, it's much less complicated from your perspective. So this is what you're going to see. Your homework assignments that are open and available are going to be appearing here. You currently only have one assignment that's active. If for some reason there are more assignments than it's willing to show you at one time, you may have to click on current assignments to get a full list of the ones that are available. Grades, so you're going to have access to that there. I'm seeing resources down here, so let me click on that. And my class resources. Chapter 2 review with answer key. That's nice. Weird. That's a little out of place. I don't know why that's appearing right now, nor the 3.1 through 3.5 review PDF. But let's just go below that and see what it says under Stewart Calculus Early Transcendentals. I'm seeing chapters 2 through 5. I will go in and see why it is that chapter 1 is not appearing there. Yeah, I'm not seeing it at the top of the screen. But let's just click on the drop down for chapter 2. And what you're seeing here are these lecture outlines are actually something that I may use. I might go in and download those and maybe trim some fat off of them to make sure we're just looking at the stuff that we really need to focus on. And then I'll hand write some solutions over the top of some example problems that are in there maybe. The other thing that's valuable in here is obviously these lecture videos on all of the sections in that chapter. And it's available for these other ones, these other chapters also. You should use those as for supplemental instruction. I don't know where else math students are going these days for some supplemental instruction. YouTube, if you found a good YouTube channel, I know there are some people out there with some really nice channels where they're presenting the information in just a couple of minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, giving you the broad, sort of wide brushstrokes of a certain topic and maybe a couple of examples. I'm going to try to do that too. Of course, I won't dress mine up as much as somebody who's got a really nice YouTube channel. I've got a very kind of stripped down, straightforward one, which is just a list of videos. The other place that I recommend that you go for some additional assistance is, if I can find it, how do I get to y'all's ebook from here? My ebooks maybe up here at the top of the screen. Sure enough, purchased. I'm going to click into that. The interface on this is a little bit unusual. I'm going to click on functions and models. And I was scrolling around through the book, so it took me to chapter 1, section 5 right away. But above where it says 1.5 here, there's this sort of the 3 dot and the hamburger. We got both of them there. And clicking on that takes me into this full list of not just each chapter section, but where it says 4 ways to represent a function, that is the sort of overview of that entire section. And then below that are the subtopics. And I kind of like the way that you can click through this. So I'm going to click on that first link, 4 ways to represent a function. This is like page 1 of that section. And can I get it to show them here? All right, it's not showing them on what you're seeing. But when you log in and do this yourself, there's a left arrow that'll appear here and a right arrow that appears here. And on my iPad down here, I'm going to click on that right arrow. And what it does is it slides me over into the next subsection, representations of a function. And then I'm going to click on that right arrow again that's actually about halfway down the right-hand side of the page there. And it's going to slide me horizontally into the next subsection, piecewise defined functions. And what you're going to find in each one of these subsections are additional videos. All right, so we could click on this video and see some articulation about piecewise functions. I mean, this is how I learned. Maybe this works for some of you. I've had students tell me, I wish I had a physical textbook. I just love being able to have my homework next to me and to be able to come in here and look at a definition and then to flip the page and see an example problem or a solution process that's being talked through. So don't hesitate to come into here and see some additional written out solution processes and descriptions. This one's not super eventful, talking about piecewise functions. All right, what else do I want to show you? All right, I'm going over here to my iPad. I'm going to click to close this tab. We're back into our sort of main navigation screen here. Your grades are up at the top. Don't use that communication tab at the top. Just Canvas message me, please. If you want to take a screenshot and Canvas message that to me, you can. Canvas is so nice. It just keeps all of our communication threads very well organized. If I click on My Assignments, let's see what that looks like for you. Current assignments, lockdown browser test. That's it. Okay. All right, I'm going to cut it off here. We're at 30 minutes already. It's been a pleasure having the chance to introduce our materials and the lay of the land to you here at the beginning of this fall 2020 semester. And I won't see you, but you'll see me in the next video where I'm going to talk to you about Chapter 1, Section 1, which again is heavy on review, so I'm going to kind of cruise through it. And remember, the format of these videos is going to change as we go along. Once we get into the newer material and the real calculus of things, it's going to slow down, and my explanations of problems and solution processes and concepts will get slower and more detailed. But for the review stuff, let's just get through it. All right, thanks so much.